You see, for years, major tech hubs like Pune and Nashik, they've been celebrated as symbols of modernization and corporate professionalism. However, recent police investigations and explosive charge sheets are revealing a sinister underbelly operating right under the noses of the HR departments. And of course, we're talking about the allegations of organized digital grooming, workplace intimidation, and forced religious conversion syndicates targeting corporate professionals. Now, this is the issue at the heart of the TCS Nashik case as well. And a fresh charge sheet running to 1500 pages has now laid out in detail what the investigators believe happened at TCS Nashik. According to the police charge sheet, vulnerable employees were allegedly subjected to systematic indoctrination. The investigation details how accused employees used YouTube videos of controversial figures like Zakir Naik, Tariq Jamil, and Dr. Israr Ahmed to target colleagues under the guise of offering stress relief. The victim in this case alleges that whilst Islamic practices were actively promoted, traditional Hindu practices were explicitly discouraged as well. This wasn't just ideological pressure. The case involves horrific allegations of sexual exploitation under the false promises of marriage and the complete manipulation of the victim's financial and bank accounts. 9 FIRs have been registered. The latest charge sheet rests on the statements of more than 100 witnesses, 106 in all, including the woman, her mother, fellow employees, and the members of the company's own internal complaints committee. Several accused employees have been suspended and they remain in judicial custody. But the questions are starker and facing us right in our eyesight. And here is what makes the story bigger than just one company, because a second case has now surfaced, this time at Wipro, again in Pune. A former employee there alleges a similar pattern. She says she faced pressure to convert and that a better career was held out to her as an incentive. She alleges that when she reported what was happening, she was not protected but pushed aside and eventually forced out. The police have begun their inquiry and the accused colleague has been called in for questioning as well. Wipro, like TCS, says it has a zero tolerance policy and is fully cooperating. Two of India's largest and most respected technology companies, two sets of allegations that rhyme with each other. What's really happening? These cases expose a terrifying reality. The corporate cubicle is being used as a hunting ground for radicalization. And that is why this has stopped being a single police case and now become a national conversation. The big questions that we'd like to underscore. How did highly organized groups manage to run active religious indoctrination and grooming networks inside tech offices without catching the attention of internal security, internal compliance, or management teams? Why did internal corporate grievance cells and human resource departments fail to protect these employees when the pressure really began, effectively allowing workplace retaliation to force victims to silence? And with now over 9 FIRs filed and identical patterns emerging across different IT giants in Maharashtra, how deep does this corporate conversion syndicate really run? How deep is the rot? And who is funding or directing these modules from the outside? A.K. Jain, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh, with us on the broadcast, and Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur, human resources expert and advisor, the human capital, with us on the broadcast as well. Many thanks for joining us. Mr. Jain, let's get the snowball rolling here. You see, these are stark allegations. You've got first the TCS Nashik case, now allegations emerging from Wipro Pune. At what point, from a law enforcement point of view, does this start asking questions whether these are isolated workplace disputes or part of a larger pattern that's coming into play? Maybe the ATS needs to be involved in and a deeper investigation is now required.
I think now the allegations have been made against Wipro, Pune. Police will do a good job. They will find out, and if they find that it's very widespread and many people are involved in it, then I don't see any harm in involving ATS also in it.
Yeah.
So, and otherwise, this is a racket. I know it's a racket in several companies. These people, even after getting so many degrees and working at such tech giants,
yeah,
they still involve themselves in all these activities. What Zakir Naik's video and the video of other such preachers,
yeah,
how come they can play it in at a place like Wipro? So
These
you have
YouTube
raised a big
videos,
question.
Mr. Jain, these YouTube videos, should it now not raise eyebrows on the national level, at the central level? Because you see, we know what happened with the Red Fort terror blast as well. We know the white collar terrorism and the entire radicalized network and how deep that went through with universities that were in its grip as well. So, this should be now taken up more seriously than it has. Or are you happy
Yes,
with what the police is doing so far?
no, no, no. It should be taken very seriously. And once this action will be taken in this case by police, I tell you, so many others will also come up, and they will also register complaints, because otherwise, generally, people keep quiet. Otherwise, they think that they will lose their jobs at these prestigious companies. But once action is taken, and she was forced to leave, I think that's why only she came out with the allegations. Otherwise, had she been serving there, she would not have raised these allegations, although she was being intimidated at Wipro. So it's a very, very serious thing, and it's a wake up call for all the tech companies and other such multinational corporations
Certainly.
that, that their HR departments should do their
Yeah,
job
yeah,
properly.
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, first act should fall on HR people only, because in this case, I am told that HR people were coaxing her to dump Hindu rituals and to adopt Islam.
It was a similar playbook, just like the TCS case. You had Nida Khan over there, still
Mm.
in, of course, judicial or police custody. And, the case has a similar playbook and a similar style. And we've got Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur with us. Not many understand organizational behavior as well as, Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur does. Doctor, you see, millions of Indians, we work in IT companies, and stories like TCS, they really shock us. And when a similar case like this one in Wipro emerges, employees naturally wonder, are HR departments equipped really to identify and stop workplace harassment that takes a religious or a radicalized ideological form? What do you think went wrong here again? And wasn't there a learning curve that was on display with the TCS case that something and a big IT hub like Pune should have really picked up on? Dr. Kaur, you'll have to unmute yourself. My apologies.
Thank you for that. Kabir, I think organizations are able to manage formal structures well, but what they miss is that the risk is often emerged in informal networks more. They're mainly focused over policies, trainings, and ethic declaration, but they don't measure whether the employees are actually feeling it or not. And these conduct usually happen in personal meetings, WhatsApp groups, after work gatherings, or even peer pressure rather than just the managerial instruction, which HR may not immediately see. But at the same time, I feel that there are signs. Many employees fear retaliation, fear poor performance rating. For instance, in this case as well, like my fellow member said that the lady left the organization. That's when came up and spoke about it. So the fear of social isolation, fear of being labeled as a troublemaker, these become scandals, and people worry being quoted as scandalous. It's not that employees around them are not aware of it, they are aware of it, but they bury it down. They keep it hidden from management, and unless it comes up to the management, I don't see this getting solved, because it's a breakdown of workplace ethics, psychological safety, not just managerial oversight, but also corporate governance. Employees come from different districts just to
Yeah.
build their careers, not to face pressure over their personal religious belief. And I think it's time that we draw a hard line clearly and enforce it without any fear
Many of
or
them take
favor.
it lying down as well. Dr. Kaur, what's your message to, let's say, an employee out there that is feeling this coercion, that is, under due duress? What should their next step be?
I think they should not go for sudden resignation, or getting into a zone where they have to hide it, look for another job. I think they should go and talk to the HRs directly. And if they don't get an answer from their respective HRs, the regional HRs, they should do skip level. They should talk about this with their colleagues openly. not being scared of the loss of job, because anyway, if you're stuck in a situation like this, you are at a high risk. It'll do more worse than any good. And it's time that employees also understand that repeated such behaviors are not encouraged, irrespective of the hierarchy, irrespective whether it's your manager asking you to do it or the situation you're in personally, which compels you to get into these baits. People must report the misconduct and believe that there are safer environments to talk about it. There are bigger HR communities as well where they can seek help, look for another opportunity only after you've resolved the concern. Otherwise, you're creating a burden on other people by skipping the pain by yourself.
That's a great point. That's a great point that you put on the table over here. Quite a profound one as well. DGP Jain, you see, coming back to that charge sheet that now runs into 1,500 pages and the new Wipro case, because the allegations include promises of marriage, the allegations include career advancement, false promises of marriage, there is sexual harassment that is involved, there is the angle of overseas opportunities where life will suddenly become better, financial benefits. These are classic grooming indicators that investigators look for in case involving coercion and exploitation. So from an investigator's perspective, where is that line between a religious discussion or what you would call coercive indoctrination? What's your assessment of the charge sheet here?
It all depends on the statement given by the lady concerned. Once you verify those charges, you come to know that sixth sense is always there with the police people. They come to know that a racket is going on, and they detected it in this case, and action has been taken. Maharashtra has BJP government, and I don't think such incidents can be suppressed. Action will be taken if there is truth in the allegations, and there must be truth. Otherwise, how come unnecessarily this lady will come forward and lodge a complaint? So I don't think she wants publicity on account of this. So police should do a very quick job and find out.
BJP Jain, you pointed out that it's the BJP government. This has happened in Maharashtra, and the TCS case, it shook the entire nation. Now, with the modus operandi that is now out, with Zakir Naik's videos, several of those other preachers as well that you pointed out, the impunity with which another case has come to light at Wipro, does this not tell us the confidence with which these rackets are still going on? Even after such a large bust like the TCS Nashik case, something similar with the same playbook is happening in Wipro, which is another big IT tech. I mean, imagine what the smaller IT companies must be going through if this really is that big a rot. Would you like to throw some light on the possibility that this goes beyond what we really understand at the moment?
There can be no limits to it. I have studied this very closely at various institutions. Similar cases occurred at KGMU at Lucknow, King George Medical University, and this was going on. So, and one doctor is behind bars. Another was, I think, some untrained man. He was organizing health camps and asking girls to students, second year, third year, students of MBBS. It's a very prestigious university, KGMC, and asking them to join these health camps on the pretext that he will see to it that they get placed in some very, very good companies. He was organizing a trip to Delhi to attend some conference, and later on it was found out that there was no conference at all. So all these activities are going on all over the country.
Yeah.
In UPIC, these activities are going on, and after this new Anti-Conversion Act, there has been some check, but still people they won't
you're absolutely right.
fear law.
Not to say that the authorities are not doing their work, but must point out here that this needs greater attention at this point in time with the new Wipro case that has come to light, certainly. Dr. Kaur, you see, there is damage to the technology sector's reputation as well. How much is that damage essentially? Because there are allegations against India's technology sector. It relies heavily on trust, on professionalism, and a reputation for being a merit-driven rather than an identity-driven. But this has happened. There was a Lenskart story that came to light as well. I was speaking to you about it as well. The TCS Nashik case, you were again with us on the broadcast. And now a Wipro case that has come to light.
I feel that it's time that organizations understand that they don't just have to quote respecting diversity as one of a check mark. Instead, they should actually respect boundaries. They need to look out for signs that show that there is cluster-based attrition. There are unnecessary team transfers happening. There are proper exec interviews that are happening, skip levels, and the ethic reports needs to be normalized and regularized. People focus more on sexual harassment, but I think now HRs need to practice more on religious harassment as well, ideological coercion as well,
Yep.
identity-based discrimination as well, and immediately red flag it and take the most serious actions against it rather than sitting on it and waiting for the management to take a call.
Yep.
Or getting covered by the managerial feedback that, oh, this is not what the other person thought, or this is a poor performer. A lot of times these people are targeted on their performance and therefore looked down upon,
Yeah.
which becomes one of the reasons that they don't want to come up and speak. They feel
Absolutely.
that they're anyway going to lose the job. They might as well save it by staying quiet. So that fear needs to be taken away, and I think HR holds complete responsibility of ensuring
You're
that
absolutely
culture.
right, Dr. Kaur. I think DGP Jain also said it right in the beginning that the HR needs to be held accountable here over in this particular case as well. So there's more that the HR needs to do, and clearly more that the authorities also need to do to look at it, with a more significant lens. India's corporate offices becoming vulnerable to forms of influence and coercion that HR systems, it seems, were never designed to handle, which is why everybody needs to up their game here. And where does personal religious expression end and workplace pressure begin? Those are some of the questions. If an employee feels compelled to change beliefs, relationships, or their lifestyle to advance professionally, can that ever be considered genuine consent? Let's hope that good sense prevails. Dr. Kaur, many thanks for taking on the time. DGP Jain, always a pleasure to have you with us.